Good morning. It's Friday morning as everyone starts to trickle in. We're super delighted to have you here. Welcome to the SummerWorks Career Sneak Peek Speaker Series featuring Suzanne Morrison from Hatch Stamping Company. We're delighted to have you join us, Suzanne. My name is Michelle Galbraith. I work at Amy Cell Talent, and I will be facilitating today's session. With that, I would like to launch into the Hatch Stamping Company video, and our featured speaker, Suzanne Morrison, who was appointed Director of Marketing of Hatch Stamping Company in October 2014, will speak shortly thereafter.
Engineered metal stampings and assemblies. At Hatch, we're obsessed with data-driven quality, all with an eye on best-in-class manufacturing processes and strong environmental policies. Hatch Stamping Company has been in business since 1952. Our employees are exceptional, manufacturing capabilities vast. We manufacture moon and panoramic roof structures, seating components and mechanisms, heat and protective shields, convertible kinemats, mounting and brake brackets, fuel system products, helmets and straps, stainless steel exhaust components, aluminum covers, suspension system components, hinge and tether assemblies, and much more. Today, Hatch has an impressive global footprint in the world of industrial manufacturing. Our headquarters are located in Chelsea, Michigan, with an additional 4 facilities throughout the state, with strategic expansion in the southeast to include Tennessee. Our reach has grown across borders and oceans, with a state-of-the-art manufacturing plant in Mexico. And now, Hatch is poised to launch manufacturing in Europe and Asia to complement our distribution operations in Germany, Spain, and China. Our very identity is our longevity, integrity, experience, innovation, tremendous production capabilities, and our long-standing customer relationships. They include some of the largest Tier 1s and OEMs in the world. In recent years, we've expanded our internal capabilities through vertical integration to include in-house coating, robotic laser welding, higher tonnage presses, and robotically transferred press lines. Hatch utilizes the most up-to-date 3D modeling and form simulation software. Our 3D printing, laser scanning, and GD&T knowledge give us the ability to provide the most efficient stamping, welding, and assembly processes anywhere. Our top-of-the-line prototype development process meets stringent customer standards. Hatch's Tech Center enables us to engineer, process, and construct tools, dies, and fixtures internally. Our production and process engineering is, in a word, unmatched. Hatch has extensive automation and integration capabilities, including robotics, material handling, inspection, and production equipment. Our highly trained and qualified program management team is our liaison with the customer, making sure we meet or exceed new product process and quality requirements. Our mechanical, automatic, and transfer presses, up to 1,000 ton. Hydraulic presses, up to 1,200 ton. CNC machining, E-coat, in-house tool and die construction, LCC tool and die construction, robotic MIG welding for steel, aluminum, and stainless, resistance, spot, arc, and laser welding, staking, grommet insertion, hinge assembly, mechanical assembly, adhesive applications, and various coating options. At Hatch, we specialize in manufacturing excellence, and our dedicated employees are committed to each and every customer. Whatever your engineering, stamping, assembly, and welding needs, we've got you covered.
I'm so happy to be here today with you to tell you a little bit more about Hatch Stamping and my career and the types of careers that you can look forward to in manufacturing. First off, Hatch Stamping's been in business since 1952. We're recognized as a global leader for highly engineered metal stamping and welded assemblies. So we do stamping, but we also have a huge engineering team We do all types of assembly and welding for the automotive industry, 100%. Technology and data-driven organization. Everything we use is hooked into what they call an MRP, a manufacturing system. The CEO, the plant floor production workers, the engineers, me, all of us have access to all data. So it's a very technical company. We have stringent environmental policies and practices, and we support our local communities, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. We were the first to do robotic aluminum MIG welding for a sunroof structure. It happens to be for the Lincoln MKC. We collaborated with 3 of the domestic OEMs, and OEMs are Ford, General Motors, et cetera, to standardize fuel system components. And we designed and built high volume robotic Robin inserts for ABS brake brackets. So all those parts are used on cars that we all drive every day. The seat that they were showing on the video is for a Corvette. We make things for the Honda CR-V. We make things for BMW's cars and Nissan's cars. So we have a very expansive customer base. Michelle, if you'd like to launch the first question.
So the first question is, have you heard of Hatch Stamping Company? A, yes. B, it sounds somewhat familiar. And C, I haven't heard of Hatch Stamping Company, but tell me more. And so we have everybody submitted and they're ready to hear more about Hatch Stamping Company, Suzanne.
Okay, yes, and that's not unusual. Today, we hear about the automotive industry a lot due to chips and the lack of them and our inability to produce cars for the population. However, we've been in business for so long, and the parts that we make are not the parts you see outside of a car. So it's not unusual for people not to have heard about us. Currently, I'm the director of marketing, and I'm responsible not only for marketing, but training, community involvement, and contract administration for 1,300 employees across 13 locations worldwide. So not only are we in Michigan, but we're in Tennessee, Mexico, China, and we have distribution centers in other places across the globe. Personally, variety is very important to me. Hence the reason I'm working for what is considered a mid-sized company. And this position allows me to work with a number of projects that have to do with a number of different items. Some of my marketing positions have been, you do events and you only do events. Well, I don't have to do that now. I've been able to get experience across different parts of an organization, and I'm happy to have the variety that I have in my job right now. This position gives me the ability not only to manage people, but projects. Marketing, training, and community involvement allows me the opportunity to do new things, whether it's an employee recruitment video, which is what I'm working on right now, or training that is loading right into a piece of equipment. Some of the presses that you saw, all of them have computers, and we're putting all of our training and videos into those screens so that individuals that are working the production floor can actually, use them right on the production floor. Or you could be running a cornhole tournament to raise funds for the Chelsea robotic team, and many things in between. So it's a lot of fun for me. The company is very innovative. 95% of the cars made in the United States have a part from Chelsea, Michigan, from Hatch Stamping. And that's why I always ask, do you know about Hatch Stamping? Every car, almost every car, has our fuel ring in it. We make 150,000 of them a day, and we ship them all over the world. I think that one of the things that happens with particularly automotive manufacturing is people underestimate the potential there is for individuals and for technology. there are a lot of leading edge careers, and women are still a minority in manufacturing. So there are options there for women to be trailblazers, but really for all, there are so many opportunities. Diversity is embraced. There are a lot of misconceptions. People say, oh, it's just like my grandfather's manufacturing, but it's really not anymore. It's very technology based. It's very global. It's very fast paced and very interesting. The trends in manufacturing are endless. Right now, we hear a lot about electronic vehicles, and we're making parts for those electronic vehicles. There's a lot of robotics. You saw some of our robotics. Some of the robotics that you saw there in the video, we actually built those robots. So to think that the only thing we do is stamp metal, it's really much more than that. We're definitely hiring all types of positions. We look for team players. That's very important to us. I didn't come with a manufacturing background. In fact, many of the people that I work with day to day don't have a manufacturing background. We look for people that want careers, that want to make an impact. They have experience sets that will mesh with marketing. So working with teams and doing a variety of different things, wearing different hats. One of the questions I was asked to answer is, what type of jobs are you filling? Right now, skilled individuals are very important to manufacturing. So we're looking for robotic techs and engineers of all types and program managers, as well as welders and technicians and quality individuals and production floor individuals and marketing individuals, and the list just goes on and on. We are definitely hiring, as are most manufacturers in our area. And currently, we have tool and die apprenticeships. This is a long-term commitment. Tool and die, to me, are the artists of what we do. And they need to do 8,000 hours of study, whether it's on the job training, which about half of that is, that you get paid for, or classroom training. And these individuals come out with a very, very strong resume, and they're very sought after within the industry. We are looking at doing robotic apprenticeships. Most of our apprenticeships that we do have are very structured, and they are in line with what some government standards are. So we're working with individuals to put together those robotic apprenticeships for the automotive industry. And then in the past, we've had interns for all types of positions. I'm currently working on the employee video, and we interviewed somebody. They came in, thought they were going to be in finance, and then ended up working in estimating, and they estimate all of our parts, and they have a team of people now that work for them. We had an individual that went to the University of Michigan, got a degree in marketing, and she works in purchasing, and she purchases all the metals. So she's now in charge of tens of millions of dollars of purchasing for us. So there are all types of intern positions. I always suggest to people, do one. Find out if you like it. It's a great way for you to know what kind of career you might want. I'm currently the director of marketing. I have a degree in organizational development and management with a minor in business. Education is key. I went to school while working full-time, sometimes 3 jobs. When I initially began my education, I'm a lot older than most of you, if not all of you on the call today. The limited options were there for women. You were a teacher, you were a nurse, or you were a bookkeeper, and that really was what you did. Today, that's not the case. I have 6 nieces, and they all have very interesting careers with degrees in law and medicine and business, but doing something different. One's a sommelier. That's somebody that I always say she gets to drink wine for a living. She travels the world in a van, to a MD at Vanderbilt University, to a lawyer, to a CEO for one of J.J. Abrams' companies developing video games, and being a venture capitalist, to one that is a recruiter. The point is, there's so many options, and you can accomplish so much. Also, education doesn't mean that a university is the place for you. I always like people to know in manufacturing, one of the good things about manufacturing is there's a lot of on-the-job training and apprenticeship and internships where you can learn and go to technical schools. There's all types of technical colleges, technical organizations where you can get accredited. So if you're a plumber or a welder, I know a couple of years ago, we gave a scholarship to a young woman who was a welder, and she was a welder as an artist, but she went to the Hobart School of Welding. So she didn't come to automotive. She became an artist doing welding. So there's a lot of options again for you. I also want young people to know it's okay to not know what you're going to do. This is so much pressure right now for you to like pick a career and go to school and do the, do this or do that. And I like, the nice thing about manufacturing is because we have so many options, you can try some things out and get your feet wet, figure out what you want to do, get on the job training, go to school, take skill classes. There's just a lot of options for you. I've had a variety of positions and careers, and that has brought strength to my resume. But not only that, options for potential growth for me. My initial positions were in education. I worked at the University of Michigan Institute for Social Research, where the Gallup poll started, to doing adult education in Chelsea. Then I worked in sales and marketing and continuous improvement in manufacturing. Then I went to technology, traveled the world, worked for a company that competed with Microsoft, worked with, I always say, the zoo of insurance animals, the Geico, Snoopy at MetLife, and Pacific like the whale. And we did analytical work for them. And then I came back to manufacturing. So I think doing different things in your career is very helpful, and it helps build who you are. Creativity is really important in my job. I need to creatively think, I need to create. And so that comes from variety for me. I notice that individuals that have an ability to solve problems have experience. So help build your experience. I think it's very important. I have a ton of personal interests, from my family to sewing, to cooking, to collecting vintage dishes, to traveling the world. And I think that variety also helps. Having something outside work helps you. And community is very, very important to me. I've always been involved in community, whether it's Chelsea where I live, whether it's women in manufacturing, a member of this Chelsea City Council, a board member for a robotics program. I was a founding member of the Purple Rose Theater. I, do things, yay for Purple Rose, and things with the Methodist Church. So there's lots of opportunities for you. I think, Michelle, now would be a good time for the next question.
Okay, so the next question is, do you understand the skills required for management? A, yes, this is my future, and B, no, I am here to learn more. And we have some results trickling in right now. And it looks like everyone is here to learn more about management, Suzanne.
Okay, all right. I'm not sure we all can ever know enough about management. It changes every day. Part of what I was asked to speak on was success. And I think that success comes from failure, and it's hard to say that. It comes from mistakes, and it comes from improvement. I've made so many mistakes, some little and some huge. And I put a note in here because I wanted to make sure I told you about one of my larger mistakes. We had a grant submission due to the federal government for money to help support technology and building a new product that would be used by the comptroller of the currency. So the people that control our money. And this was many years ago. And I thought the submission was due on August 5th. I'll never forget it. But it was due on August 3rd. And I submitted it a day early, thinking, oh, this is great, August 4th, it's a day early. And then realized it said August 3rd. So I called the grant office and I said, look, I thought this was due on August 5th. I thought I was getting it in a day early. And after several phone calls, I was able to apply for the grant and we were able to get the grant. But many times individuals, particularly young individuals, will hide things and hide mistakes that they've made in the workplace. And that's just such not a good idea. There are ways to work out almost everything. There's very few problems you can't solve. And really, I'll tell you, I've never missed a deadline. I don't care what deadline it is. In over 40 years, I've never missed a deadline since then. And so that just comes from me making a mistake. Success is not necessarily driven from what you think it might be. I think mentors are key. People that you work with, people that you don't work with, people outside of your industry sometimes can be more of a mentor. Sometimes a mentor can be somebody who's below you in what some would call rank in an organization. It is somebody who sees things a little bit differently from you. They will listen to you. They will give you honest feedback, but mentors are very, very key. Creativity is key. I have never once thought I shouldn't be creative or try and think of something different. Willing to participate is key. I see this a lot with our younger interns. We have some interns that come in and want to fill the room. And I want them to just shrink down a little bit. And then I have interns that come in and they don't participate. You need to be willing to participate. Don't fill the room. It's not about us. It's about the team. Showing up and being present is very, very important. Caring about what happens is very important. It is easy not to care. It is easy to think of it as a job. And when I tell people what we are looking for those that we want to work at Hatch Stamping, we want people who want to be there. We want them to want their careers to be in manufacturing. And I truly, truly believe that learning is more important than education. Not that education is not important. My parents were teachers. I am a strong proponent of education, and our company supports scholarships to skilled schools, as well as universities, as well as internships, all types of things. But really, learning is what is the most important. You need to learn from your actions and what you do every day. Michelle, do we have any questions?
No, right now we don't. We
Okay.
invite you all to use the Q&A chat window to pose your questions anonymously, and we will announce them here. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle. There are a few things I feel have impacted my success. I believe everyone has a contribution, and I have managed very large teams to very small teams. And I find ways to make sure that everyone can contribute. So I think that's really important. So when I have an intern, they're as important as the next person. And that is how you learn. Being part of a team, your willingness to be part of a team, I think impacts your success. Being detail oriented. I was going to get a degree in finance. I was going to be an accountant, and I decided not to do that. However, after a couple of years of studying that, it really helped me. Everything I do has process flow diagrams. It has check sheets. It has action item lists. It has budgets, and being very detail oriented is helpful. Being process driven and data driven is helpful. We do not make a decision at this company without data. ever. And we never did in the tech world, and we never did in the education world either. So understanding data, understanding processes, taking time to really learn those, I think impacts success. Thinking outside the box. I work with a team of people, and I'm the person that's creative, and it's not always popular. I have to bring up ideas that are different, and that's what I'm paid for, and that's why I was hired there. And every once in a while I'll say, well, I have an idea, and then I'll go, oh, another idea. But it's really important. Your ability to multitask. I run 3 major departments and support 1,300 individuals, and never is a day the same. Being very organized, being very process driven, and really thinking outside the box really helps me be able to multitask. And then grace, finding grace within yourself and finding grace within others. Individuals are human beings, and they're going to make mistakes. You're a human being, you're going to make mistakes. I'm a human being, and I make mistakes. And just giving myself grace is really important to me, to my success. In my career, I've had many roles. Primarily women have invested in not only their teams and their communities, but in me. And I believe that that's important. When they say to me, how many, have you had any role models? There have been so many. There are those that others wouldn't think as a role model, like Ina Garden, and she's a chef. And people like Jane Shire, who was director of education for the Methodist Church. And there are people like Jeff Daniels, who people know him, but people don't know about the Jeff Daniels that I know, the person that's invested in his community, not just with the Purple Rose Theater. It's not just on Broadway, but really invested in the community and made sure that the children of Chelsea have creative outlets. There's my father, who is a teacher. There's friends who are bankers. There's so many role models and so many people that I've lived up to. I think it's important just to surround yourself with as many of those things as you can. I hope that I can be a role model, and that drives me to look to other people. One of the questions I was asked to put on here is, do you have any mottos? And I do, probably too many. Balance, strive for it. When you have a job where you have lots of responsibility, you need to make sure you have some type of balance. And lots of responsibility is everybody's job. So I don't know anybody who doesn't have responsibility and accountability in their job, no matter what you're doing. So just strive for balance, engage. Again, don't fill the room every time, but really participate and be part of the team. My team can quote this to you: no artificial highs and no artificial lows. I don't believe in the drama. It doesn't help, and everything can be fixed. So we'll figure it out. And then the last one is no surprises. I do not want to be surprised, particularly when I'm at work. Just tell me the bad news. It's okay. Again, no artificial lows. We will fix whatever we can.